No, I'm not having a difficult.
No,
So,
here we go.
answering the 3 most common questions about my marriage with my gay husband. Number 1, do we sleep together? Yes. Number 2, do we have an open relationship? No, we are monogamous. Monogamous. That, for some reason, doesn't register with people. It's pretty straightforward. No, but you can ask Google if you need to define what that word means. Yeah. We'll even spell it out for you in the comments. Number 3. What was number 3? Oh, people always want to know why you don't identify as bi. Yes, why don't I identify as a pans, labyrinth, or bisexual? Well, this is why. Because I'm gay up here. That's how it works. That's the only thing I'm attracted to is men and Samantha. Mm-hmm. Samantha's my soulmate. Doesn't make me attracted to anything other than men in this world. It just happens to be a fluke in the system that we work together and are soulmates. Which is why we are in a mixed orientation relationship. And if you have any more...
So, back to the question of what do you think about that? Being bi-female, because I'll comment as a straight female. Bi-male, and I'll comment as a straight female. How do you unpack that?
I can't sit there. I don't want to sit there and throw stones right away. Let me put on my glasses so I can actually focus.
Everything's audio, but we definitely need to see. I guess I'll start.
I'll start.
You want to start?
Yeah.
Okay, I was giving you the opportunity.
I am, but I just need to get my glasses. You always want to start. Let me start. What I'm saying is, as a bi male, hearing that, number one, this is overall, this is a white couple. That's number one.
They have certain privileges. We all can't. Yeah.
I was just like, they're a white couple. Whatever two consenting adults decide they want to do, they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Clearly, they have had a full-length discussion about the relationship that they're in for them to be so straightforward about it. I actually appreciate the transparency that they both displayed. I'm not going to lie. I did. I appreciated the transparency because, a lot of people won't actually just come up and say what's going on. And there's been plenty of examples of people who have been in these type of relationships, knowing that the other is lesbian or gay, or whatever the case may be, and them having long and successful relationships because of the simple fact of, for them, we're talking about two human beings that have shared life with each other. And so whatever the other person is going through, they're also going through. And, a lot of these relationships, it wasn't like this other person was just living a lie, doing whatever the case may be. Most of the time, they're just living their normal lives. And, things come, and the thing about it is, I think, especially when it comes to like just heterosexual relationships in general, it was just like, it's very easy to, and I think both men and women are guilty of it. It's very easy just to see your partner just as your partner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and not actually what they're attracted to, their likes.
Yeah, not
you just likes. See yourself as
this person that fulfills me.
Yeah,
and that brings me joy, that brings me happiness, that brings me the things that I need, and does a very good job with it. And I can only see them in this particular light. And sometimes people grow, or people in time realize certain things. In this case, I'm not going to say in this case, But like maybe I was just like maybe they were friends at first, and and maybe they are attracted to each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not crazy.
Yeah.
It's really not that crazy. And it's human nature. We're humans. We are humans in general are sexual beings.
Yeah.
We have the ability to, you know, I feel like we have the ability to, love. It's like to love, more than one person in your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like, people say like, oh, you only have one love of your life, or you only have three loves of your life, and all this. I don't believe any of that bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I literally believe that you can literally have good things with a lot of different people. And it's just like, I was just like, to say that, this is my one and only, and things like that. For some people, it's not like that. Some people have had, have had the luxury of having a few loves of their lives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some of them have had the luxury. Some people have not been so lucky. And I guess with these two, who's to say that they that they don't want to miss out on something that maybe they're both lacking in the way that things have been going.
Mm-hmm.
And with them spending a lot of time together, doing certain things together, clearly they're very close. You know what I'm saying? She, and it was just like, they seem to be very much in cohesion with each other. Maybe I was like, even so maybe it's like something of a, is it something of a business, of a business transaction? Sure. You know what I'm saying? To me, because of how lockstep they were with each other, to me,
I don't get business, but
no,
I see
no,
what you're saying.
Yeah, like I'm not saying it's all business, but there's a business aspect to what it is for them sharing this as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got from it. Mm-hmm. Not saying that that's like bottom line.
Yeah.
But there is an element. I feel like it's an element because of the simple fact of how in lockstep they were with how they were feeling.
Yeah.
And how confident of the things that they were doing. And I was, at first I was just like, this is very interesting.
Yeah.
Because obviously this man is gay. He's saying that he's gay.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also saying that he's in love with this woman. And I can't really knock him for it. I cannot knock the human mind and the human heart and feelings. And people, and it's just like, and unexpected things do come up with, especially with probably with these two, unexpected feelings came up.
Okay.
They seem to be very close friends. They seem to know each other pretty well. Just in like, even with like, with him just like it's like I know exactly what I am or whatever the case may be. She didn't really have to say too much. She was really just amening the things he was saying. And that kind of showed me how in locks, I was just like, well, that's a little bit different because she's really not talking that much. She's really just piggybacking off the things that he was already saying, because she already knows the questions are going to be more directed towards him.
Yeah.
So that was also something a very small element I noticed just because of her, even though even though it was like when she did speak, she was very, clearly she has a type A personality.
Yeah.
But she also seems like a woman that knows when to shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Especially when she let him, when she was letting him talk or whatever the case may be. Yeah. There was just a lot, like I said, it's a lot to unpack. I can't, but to what I think, like all the way, what a society is going to think is that, that he's always going to be gay, which he is, and he recognizes that he's gay. But the thing about with her is just like, people are going to think that she's delusional or that something's wrong with her because why don't you just be with a man that is straight? And she's gonna be like, you mean the guys that I were with before and they were all fucking terrible?
Yeah.
Very easy, very easy for a woman to say that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just in general. If
Yeah.
the man that she's with now that she knows is gay, who clearly have who clearly have something with each other.
Yeah.
To me there has to be some sort of attraction, some sort of, something foundational that they, internally, that they both, are in lockstep with, and that, that really makes them attracted to each other. It's definitely more than just them both liking the same sex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is physically.
Yeah.
Physically.
I get you.
And so it's just like when we talk, and they were talking about somebody, he said, it's like, this is my soulmate. This is,
yeah,
this is somebody, that's kind of, that's deep.
It's different.
Yeah. It's a little different.
I explain that, yeah.
And especially with how they explained it, because it wasn't like he was hiding anything.
No.
It wasn't like she was, trying to cover up, or, overextend herself for him. Mm-hmm. I didn't get any of that.
I think this, just to break it down, because, like, I have to break things down to understand the concept. And I'm going to go two ways about it. I'm going to go scientifically, and I'm going to be spiritual in belief, because the terms that they use correlate. Now, scientifically, we have 3 organs that mostly control our primary function: our sexual organs, our heart, and our brains. Now, when he said that he's gay and he's attracted to men, that to me correlate as to his sexual organs. Absolutely. And most human beings don't understand that there's a difference between the 3, and they get caught up in one organ controlling everything.
Right.
And he is sexually attracted to males. That is understandable. We have 3 different organs. And a lot of the times, especially dealing with men, the sexual organ may take over. But when it comes to the brain think out of spare. And when he stated soulmate is connected to spiritual connection, unity.
Yep.
And we talk about that a lot, especially with the other video when I said that we need black men. It was the spiritual bond that men and women hold. And even though he recognized what he's sexually attracted to, he understands that he had a spiritual soulmate bond with this woman that he couldn't avoid.
Yep.
And that bond was more important than his sexual cravings. And it was now to piggyback off of the belief of gay and bi men. Number one, all of the misconceptions about down low, because it gives them a bad light. But with bisexual men, y'all get the bad rap of, can y'all be faithful in y'all relationship liking both sex?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's the question that is answered when you deal with that is a gay, but mostly bisexual men, and why most women will deter. Because can you be faithful to one sex? And that is the third question that he asked. And by listening to him and listening to you as a bi man, that y'all can Monogamous, a communion, a spiritual bond has nothing to do with their sexual organs, and we get that mixed up because we are mostly controlled by that organ.
Right.
A lot of us. And y'all are starting to answer that question that yes, just because I like both sex, just because our relationship is this way, does not mean that I'm a cheater.
Exactly.
I'm not no I don't know if he's real, if that's the case, but by speaking to you, that is the case. It does not mean that. And we as straight people have that misconception. And then once again, because we categorize everybody, we can't fathom a gay guy having a soulful connection because we're still correlating all organs as one instead of individuals. We're still correlating because a man has sex with a man that his heart is, you know. So I think in me also, I'm a Scorpio. I understand my sexual organs, but I understand me spiritually and as my mind and what I think, and those I don't let the sexual organs control my frame of thinking, and I don't let it also prevent, and I'm starting to understand not to let it also block. And what I'm getting from them, I'm getting is genuine. I'm also getting that within a white couple, you have freedoms that we don't as black people have. The freedom to actually be in that type of relationship because there's so much stigma in the black community, and we have to portray a certain image for us to be accepted, that we don't accept anything outside of the norm. So we don't have those discussions. We can't fathom a gay. We no, not saying we don't. We don't have the privilege.
Exactly.
Because we have to. We're at war with the rest of the world, and we need them to understand and respect us. And when it comes to respect, the world sees a certain image, and that's what we need to portray. That's why also we need the black man to lead, because the image that the world respects is a man. So even though we may have y'all in our community, that can't be the forefront of our fight. And that's what leads us to, we have a lot of that, because I have told you one thing about the African American community. We are overly sexualized because of the trauma that has been done to our bodies. So we are most of the time have different sexual cravings and identities, but we oust it because we need to maintain an image. And we're starting to realize that with everything, they have the privilege to be who they are, but our black men and women don't have that privilege to sit there and say, "Yeah, I'm a black woman with a gay man."
Right. Or I'm a it's like or
Because neither one of us will be respected. So, I think it's that with our community, we're trying to build, and within building, we're structuralizing to the standards and not fitting in our own lanes. And we need to think outside of the sexual organs. Men and women, just be real with yourself, and you'll find that one. Because that's what that is. A soulmate is no matter what blends with you, not who you want to be, who you pretend to be. It blends with actually you. So in order for you to find that, and I think no matter the norms or whatever, they found that people don't understand a soul bond is a soul tie is more deeper than a sexual tie.
It is.
So
Yeah, I agree with that. A soul bond is deeper than a sexual tie. It it really outweighs the sexual tie. And they asked, it's like, well, it's like, are you guys monogamous? It's like, yeah, but they never said that they were having sex. You know what I'm saying? They never said that.
we once again that's the logistics of their
Yeah,
relationship.
it's just
We
like that.
don't once again they discussed it. They were open. They have that privilege to do it. We need those conversations, but it's not accepted.
Exactly. It's hard for us to have those conversations because we are. It's like we as in the Black community are so stuck on roles and how things look, and so
I completely understand. Like, to the rest of the world, we have been fooled, so we need to form this. I get it, but once again, we are not on anyone else's lane, and we need to understand that, and we need to attack and handle the issues in our community in our lane.
absolutely. And the thing is, we as a community also have to recognize is that we do have examples of that.
We really do.
Like we have like a lot of the things that we talk about, we already have examples of.
Yeah,
Like we have it.
yeah,
We can move on from that. Like we can like not all of us have to strive to achieve the same thing.
yeah,
And it's just like, for me it's just like I'm like we're not Jewish. So it's like, you know, we're not doing the same thing here.
yeah,
We're not trying to overtake government. That's an other conversation, but we're not trying to do certain things. But we already have examples of strong Black man, strong Black woman, couples together doing things, family, togetherness, God, whatever it is, however it is that they, present.
yeah.
We have many, many examples of that in the community. We do. And it's just like how much it's like how often are we going to go, are we always going to revert back to that conversation when we already have so many examples of it? There's not really much we can do. What we do have as a community have to understand is that, look, we have these examples, we know how it can be done, so what do we do about the people who it's not working out for?
Yeah,
It's like
that's the thing.
like divorced. I was just like divorced people, single parents, mothers and single mothers and fathers. I'm talking about.
No, like black love.
Yeah,
But
single. I was like,
what? 81% of black women are still single. Like we have examples, but
we have examples.
it doesn't correlate to what we're actually experiencing.
81% is a lot. I feel like 81% is like that's really a lot. Because it's just like I still feel like a lot of Black women do have relationships.
We do outside of our race.
Huh? I'm not talking about not only just within our race, but just
Yeah, I'm talking about within our race. Yeah,
yeah.
'cause this is the point of everything to me. Yeah. No, we have successful relationships.
Yeah.
I'm talking about We do have examples, but as I look at those examples,
Yeah, we already
there's
have
only one in few.
Yeah, but we still have examples, and we have plenty of them. That's the other thing. It's like I guess for me it's just that you know we I was like there's still other group I was like there's still a lot of other groups of people who are in the community that aren't doing those things,
Yeah.
that are still prominent within the community,
Yeah.
whether they're don't have families, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But a black person with unmarried, even no children, is looked at,
Yeah.
is looked at very well. Why is it like that? And it's very to me it's just very interesting, because of the simple fact, like we've talked many a times. It's like I'm not sure if I want kids or not. I'm not 100% still, even at 38 years old. Not 100%. And the black community, it's just like the older I get, and it's just like, and I see my friends, and their kids are like now most of them are like leaving high school, about to leave high school, which is a total mind fuck for me,
Yeah.
because it's like I haven't even thought about like having children. I was like, I have a family member who's in their mid in their mid to late 40s, still still trying to have children. you know I have them. It's like I have a relative like that, and I can't imagine even myself right now at my age having a child, just based off my age alone.
Yeah.
Just that alone. And but I also think about, I also, you know, sometimes it's like sometimes I ask, I'm like, God, I'm like, yeah, it's just like, do you really want me to have a family? You know what I'm saying? Is that something you really want from me? Still haven't received an answer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Had a dream about a kid, about a daughter, but again, it could be just a dream.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, I'm like, you know, we need to talk about more in the community about, you know, single black people, within the community are really, are really looked at as like, are demonized within our community. Single
Mm-hmm.
people, just in general, doesn't matter if they're gay, straight, whatever,
Yep.
they're demonized. They're looked at as selfish.
Hmm.
Like, there are plenty of black women who have never been married, never been married, don't have any children. You know what I'm saying? And that do and that who are 51 years old and being like, I was like, I have a great, just like I have a great career. I'm traveling.
Yeah.
I'm living my life. These are the things that I've wanted to do since I was leaving high school. These are the things I've dreamed of. It's like I'm living out my dreams right now. And why is that so? And I remember this video. She's like, why is that so offensive to the black community? That I don't want to be married, and I don't want to have kids. I've been like that for many years. She said I've been like that for many years. Not because it's like, and she said not because I have like issues or mommy issues or daddy issues, but she's like, I come from a 2-parent home. My parents are still married today, and I was like, and they have other kids that gave them grandkids. They didn't need me to do it, and they knew I was going to be like that. She said that, like, they knew I was going to be like that. They knew they weren't going to get no grandkids from me. She's like, but it doesn't mean I'm not a person that can't be valued within the community. I guess that's the thing. Let's stop it here.